The one thing which I find interesting in this particular event is that we see that the different types of cities who participate in this event, they are increasing in number. And for us, coming here, we expect to see the activities, the initiatives that start from Europe to grow beyond Europe. Because I think you have like 120 cities now which are part of this network, about 24 countries. For me, one of the major expectations is how do we replicate the framework for collaboration which exists between the cities, primarily in Europe, extend this to the rest of the world, because the issues that are faced in a number of the connected cities and the smart cities in Europe are similar issues that we face in other countries. Standards are a key enabler to be able to create interoperability, non-discriminatory, globality. We need to be able to have activities which have started somewhere else to be replicated in other areas. In what we do in ITU, we develop global interoperable non-discriminatory standards, mostly focusing on interoperability, because we believe that a program like the Smart Incubator, it is going to empower young entrepreneurs to acquire technologies. But for them to be able to acquire these technologies need to be standardized in a way that they are non-discriminatory. That means access to the technology is available to those who are not necessarily major companies, but those who have the means, the tools, and the mechanisms which are part of what we refer to as Industry 4.0 or Fourth Industrial Revolution. There I'm referring to artificial intelligence, blockchain, augmented reality, and those types of technologies. So we need to look at how do we bring these technologies to to be accessible to the global community in a way that the standards would make them reachable, not just for those who can afford in very, very rich countries, but also for those who need this to be able to solve their problems. To give an example of some of how we try to address some of the challenges, by challenge I mean how do we bring to be able to take these technologies down to the young entrepreneurs in developing countries. Because as you know, in the ITU, we work towards the Sustainable Development Goals. We have to try to see how we extend the benefits of telecommunications and information technology to meet the needs of mankind in all the areas. So we decided that we were going to train some young entrepreneurs in an African country, in Rwanda, and we trained them on technologies that would enable them to be able to find solutions to the local problems. But then we looked at these guys who have been able to come up with algorithms to address their own local problems, and we said, how do we deal with this? We cannot leave these people the way they are, because they would go back to the survival activities that they were undertaking before we brought them into this. So we decided to come up with a program which would enable these startups. An incubator is a place where, if you look at children in an incubator, like premature children in an incubator, they have the support which is necessary for them to be able to get to a point where they can get out of that incubator. So the whole activity of this Smart Incubator is about empowering these young startups to acquire the technologies, that's the know-how, to have the proper business models, to be able to have the networking which is necessary, protect the intellectual property that they have developed so that they can create their own enterprises. Because we are focusing on technologies like artificial intelligence technologies, blockchain, Internet of Things, which is discussed here a lot. We believe that these technologies are within the capabilities of everybody who has the necessary background. You don't have to have a massive industry to be able to have access to the development of algorithms in AI. So the incubator is really focusing on how we can empower startups in all countries, but primarily focusing on developing countries so that they can address some of the issues that they are facing So I'm here to look at how we can establish the necessary partnerships with those who would want to work with us, because they've already started certain things which are related to this empowerment of our young people. This program, we launched it in September 2018. When we launched it, we realized that there is a significant amount of interest. Why? We're a global organization. We have 193 member states, and we have more than 700 of the major companies in the world, from every company you can think of which is in information technology, from Apple, Google, Facebook, whatever. So we have this network. When we deploy something, we don't want to replicate what has been done by others, because we can work with every single organization, as we've been discussing with some of them now. So for us, we are at a stage where we can move very fast, because we're not going to go to the different countries. They're already members of the ITU. As long as we get the right partners on board who are doing things which are relevant, we can just replicate what they are doing. So from one day almost to the next, we can get startups in some faraway country to be active in this. That's what it is when you are an organization which is global, which has 193 countries and has all of the major players. So we are now in the process of just about to establish the different types of partnerships. We have already incubatees. I don't know if that is an English word, but I just thought that since you can say employees, you can say detainees, you can say incubatees, but we'll see, we'll verify this. So yes, we are at a stage where we want to roll it out globally, and we want to partner with those who have national, regional, and multi-regional initiatives, so that we can try to, bridge the gap in all the countries.